In times of conflict, governments often mobilize every available resource to support their military efforts. However, one of the most controversial and alarming developments occurs when children become involved in war-related activities. Recent media reports have raised concerns about a program in Iran that allegedly encourages very young teenagers to participate in tasks supporting the country's armed forces. According to reports cited by regional media outlets, the initiative is connected to a campaign organized by officials linked to the Iranian security structure. Today we will talk about shocking 12-year-olds recruited for war. So, before we start, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Reports indicate that the program was announced by Rahim Nadali, and a cultural official associated with the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps in Tehran, the capital of Iran. The announcement reportedly called for volunteers to assist the country's armed forces through various forms of logistical and community support. What has drawn the most international attention, however, is the claim that the minimum age for certain volunteer activities has been reduced to just 12 years old. Announcement of the volunteer program. The program reportedly aims to recruit volunteers from across the country to assist in wartime support roles. According to information published by the Saudi-based news outlet Al Arabiya, Nadali encouraged teenagers aged 12 and 13 to register for participation in these activities. This recruitment initiative is said to be organized through networks connected to the Basij, a paramilitary volunteer force that operates under the authority of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. The Basij has historically played a role in ideological mobilization, community enforcement, and support functions during periods of political tension or conflict. According to Iranian media coverage referenced in regional reports, the initiative is framed as a national effort to mobilize society in support of the country's armed forces. Officials reportedly describe the program as a patriotic volunteer movement designed to help communities affected by war conditions while also assisting military logistics. Tasks assigned to young volunteers. Reports suggest that the program includes a wide range of activities that volunteers could perform. These tasks are not necessarily frontline combat roles, but they involve various support functions that contribute to wartime operations. Among the responsibilities reportedly mentioned are reconnaissance and neighborhood patrol activities. Volunteers may also assist in monitoring local areas or providing information to authorities about suspicious activity. In some cases, participants may be asked to help operate or support checkpoints organized by the Basij militia. Other duties reportedly include logistical support such as organizing transportation convoys, sometimes referred to as heroic convoys. These convoys may transport supplies, food, or aid to military units and communities impacted by conflict. Volunteers could also help prepare meals for troops stationed in different regions or assist in distributing humanitarian supplies. Yet the program reportedly also includes tasks related to caring for injured soldiers. Volunteers may assist medical staff by delivering supplies, organizing support centers, or helping with non-medical care for wounded personnel. Additionally, participants may help rebuild homes damaged by war or assist families affected by conflict-related destruction. Supporters of such initiatives often present these roles as civic duty or national service, emphasizing community solidarity and patriotism. However, critics argue that involving children in any activity linked to military operations raises serious ethical and legal concerns. International legal concerns. The reports about recruiting children as young as 12 have raised questions about compliance with international agreements regarding the protection of children during armed conflict. International law strongly discourages the involvement of minors in military activities. Organizations such as the United Nations and UNICEF have long advocated for strict protections that prevent children from participating in armed conflicts. One of the most widely recognized legal standards is the Optional Protocol on the Involvement of Children in Armed Conflict, which sets guidelines intended to prevent the recruitment or use of children in military operations. The agreement encourages governments to ensure that individuals under the age of 18 are not used in direct or indirect roles related to armed conflict. Human rights groups argue that even if children are assigned logistical or support tasks rather than combat roles, their involvement in war-related activities can expose them to physical danger, psychological trauma, and long-term social consequences. Historical context of youth mobilization. The use of youth organizations in times of national crisis is not unique to one country. Throughout modern history, governments and political movements have mobilized young people to assist in war efforts or national campaigns. During major conflicts in the 20th century, including the World War II, many countries organized youth groups to support wartime production, community defense, and civil protection. In some cases, teenagers helped with agricultural production, factory work, and emergency services. However, The global community has increasingly recognized the need to separate children from military environments. Following numerous conflicts involving child soldiers in different regions, international institutions have pushed for stronger legal protections and monitoring mechanisms. As a result, the involvement of children in any form of military-related activity now attracts significant global scrutiny. Role of the Basij Militia. A central element of the reported program is the Basij, which functions as a volunteer paramilitary force within Iran. The organization was formed shortly after the Iranian Revolution and has since become a major component of the country's internal security and ideological mobilization system. The Basij operates under the command of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, one which itself is one of the most powerful military institutions in Iran. Basij members often participate in community activities, social campaigns, and public demonstrations. In addition to these roles, the organization has historically assisted with internal security operations and emergency responses. Because it recruits volunteers from local communities, the Basij has a broad grassroots presence across Iranian cities and villages. Critics argue that this structure makes it easier for authorities to mobilize civilians, including youth, in support of political or military objectives. Media reports and regional reactions. News of the program has circulated widely in regional media outlets. The report referenced by Al Arabiya has been discussed in several international publications, all prompting debates about whether the program represents wartime mobilization or a violation of child protection standards. Some analysts argue that the reports reflect growing regional tensions and the pressure governments face during geopolitical crises. Others suggest that the story highlights deeper concerns about how states manage national security and civil participation during conflict. Ethical and humanitarian concerns. The possibility of involving children in wartime support efforts raises complex ethical questions. Experts in child development emphasize that adolescence is a critical stage for psychological growth, education, and emotional stability. Exposure to military environments, even indirectly, can disrupt these processes. Children involved in wartime activities may experience stress, fear, or trauma, but especially if they witness violence or destruction. Broader implications. The discussion surrounding this program reflects broader debates about security, nationalism, and youth mobilization. Governments often frame participation in national defense as an act of patriotism and community responsibility. However, critics warn that such narratives can blur the line between civic engagement and militarization. The situation also highlights the importance of transparency and international dialogue. When reports emerge about potential child involvement in military activities, they typically attract attention from international watchdog organizations, human rights groups, and diplomatic institutions. If you liked this video and would like to see more like it, please give it the thumbs up. Leave a comment and click the button to subscribe.